What is the plague? Basically, it is a disease or any trouble that comes from the one and only God to warn us to become a good person so that we follow His law and order. If we all remember from the Quran, the Pharaoh was one of the most evil guy on earth. He claimed himself as a god, and he killed hundreds of thousands of children from Bani Israel. He refused to accept Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as his God and also refused to accept Musa alayhi salam as a prophet. For their bad actions, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the first punishment to Egypt, the drought. The water supply went low in the Nile River and the land became very dry. They started suffering because their food wasn't growing. But the Pharaoh remained arrogant. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the second punishment for Egypt, a huge flood. Their land was under the water. They could not use their land for farming. When the Egyptians were in big trouble, they requested Prophet Musa alayhi salam to save them from the flood. And they promised to believe in him and let the children of Bani Israel go. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala removed their punishment from them. So they started to live their normal life. When Musa alayhi salam reminded them to fulfill their promise, they refused and broke their promise to release the children of Israel. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the third punishment, the grasshoppers, to destroy the Egyptians' crops. The grasshoppers ate whatever crops they grew. So they came to the Prophet Musa, peace be upon him, again to remove Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's punishment and said that this time they would not break their promise. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala removed their punishment, but they broke their promise again. The merciful Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them more and more chances to accept their true God. After that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the fourth punishment to the Egyptians, the lice and the spread of diseases. As usual, they again promised Musa alayhi salam. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala removed the punishment and they broke their promise again. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the fifth punishment for them, which was many frogs. They jumped on their foods, shared their houses, and started to give them lots of pain. They again promised to Musa alayhi salam, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala removed their punishment and they again broke their promise. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the sixth punishment for them, the sign of blood. The Nile water was changed into blood. For Prophet Musa and his people, it was just water. But for the Egyptians, when they filled their cup with water, it turned into blood. During all of this punishment, lots of people in Egypt were destroyed. But the Pharaoh was still arrogant and still did not accept Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as his God. Arrogance made him blind. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran that these people are deaf, dumb, and blind, and they will not return to the right path. After giving many chances to the Pharaoh, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decided to destroy him. From this story, we need to remind ourselves that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our one and only God. He loves us very much. He gives us many chances to become a good person and a Muslim. But unfortunately, sometimes we ignore him day after day. That means we are not listening to him. And we are not reading his instructions, which is the Quran. We aren't even trying to understand what he's trying to say to us in the Quran. In this difficult time, we need to pray for each other and read the meaning of the Quran and try to be a good Muslim. Inshallah, in our next video, we will see why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the plague to the Bani Israel. We hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and share it with all of your friends and family. And until next time, Assalamu alaikum.